Welcome to Epicenter, the hub of innovation in the heart of Helsinki, where ideas come to life and creativity thrives, where innovation meets community. Get ready to learn, network, and make an impact. Let's go.
Let's give her a huge round of applause. Come on. Oh, come on. It's Tuesday. We can do better than that. All right. How are we doing today? There we go. Some of you have been here before. You know that we scream at each other. All right. My name is Joey. I am the head of community here at Epicenter Helsinki. And we have a little bit of a tradition across all Epicenters where we take the first 10 seconds of each of our events and we go absolutely wild. So you clap, I clap, we scream, and you'll see, look, oh, you're smiling at the thought of it right now. I can see a couple of happy faces happening. And what this does is that it makes us all feel easy, right? And then when I sleep in my dreams, I hear the claps, and I think that they're all for me. All right, there we go. All right, so the first 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, go. This is for our speakers. Woo! There we go. They said, Joey, you'll never get Finns to clap. I said, of course you will. You just have to ask nicely. All right. Well, welcome to Epicenter Helsinki. I'm so happy to see you all here. We are a community and a meeting arena for local change makers to accelerate their growth and innovate with impact. Epicenter stands not as just a hub, but a testament to the power of community. And communities are more than just people in proximity. They are networks of shared ideas, dreams, and aspirations that drive us forward. So I want to welcome you all to our Afterwork series. This is a set of monthly events where we celebrate you, our amazing community. And as we gather here tonight to celebrate the spirit of innovation and the relentless drive of founders, I'm honored to be your guide once a week. I stand before you as a believer in the transformative power of entrepreneurship. And tonight we have a compelling lineup that promises to provide insights, shared journeys, and the very essence of what it means to innovate and lead. So let's unravel these founder tales and discover the magic behind every startup story. So are we ready for a captivating evening? See? Now we're doing this together, right? We're in it, you're invested. I feel like you care about me. And then I care about you. No. All right, let's begin. If you have attended events in the past, you know that I am absolutely shit at Finnish last names. So we're all going to be on a first name basis today. So I am Joey, and our first founder is a Ukrainian living in Helsinki since 2015. He is the co-founder and CEO of the marketing SaaS company PromoRepublic, the only data-driven franchise marketing platform. Prior to that, he co-founded New Strategies Group, a digital marketing agency, and developed it into the leading position in the Ukrainian market, which exited. He is also involved in building a community of SaaS entrepreneurs as a SaaS stock local community leader in Helsinki and Kyiv. He has co-organized 25 events for SaaS founders and operations. He is also a proud father of 4 who is passionate about all kinds of winter sports, Finnish sauna, and ice swimming. So please help me welcome to the stage Max, who is the co-founder and CEO of PromoRepublic. Let's give him a hand.
Hey,
thank you so much, sir.
What shall I tell you? You told everything.
This is for you.
Hi, guys. Yeah, my name is Max, and I am startup entrepreneur. And I was invited to talk a bit about my entrepreneurial path here with a company that I co-founded and I'm running. And it should be an honest story, not just the cool stuff and the stuff for the press, but also some failures and off the record stuff. So yeah, let's try to make it interesting. And PromoRepublic is we currently pretty much, I think, after 9 years. So we recently celebrated 9 years of PromoRepublic. And these are my co-founders and myself, and we have this professional kind of photo shoot with some designs, so we could afford that. And not only that, we also figured out what we are. So we are the data-driven marketing platform for franchises. So we know who we're selling to, we have a great office here in Helsinki at Epicenter. We also have a sales and marketing hub in New York because we're selling to American companies. Some of them are Fortune 500 companies. We're a team of 40 people. We learned how to work remotely. So we're a distributed team, so we can get easier access to talent. We have playbooks in sales, so we have some kind of predictability. We know how to focus, we know how to accelerate, but it was not the case from the very beginning. So we started. Here are some pictures from the first years of the PromoRepublic existence, and for example, on that picture in the lower right corner, we arrived to Espoo. With my co-founder to participate in Startup Sauna Accelerator program. So I think we had less than 10,000 on account, and Startup Sauna didn't give any money, so they just gave some place to sleep in Espoo during the program. So that was our discovery of Finnish startup ecosystem that ended up in us staying and founding a company here in Finland and accelerating through other institutions within startup ecosystem of Finland. So we love Slush, so I think we raised all our rounds there. We went through startup acceleration program, Startup Sauna. We got our first investor from FIBAN, Finnish Business Angels Network. We got multiple co-financing rounds from Business Finland, so we could kind of accelerate and excel our funding rounds from the government money here in Helsinki. So we got, I think, Startup Sauna brought us first time to US. So that picture from the upper right corner is PromoRepublic first visit of US. We founders, we've never been there, but Startup Sauna team brought us physically to US so we could discover our customers and we could understand that how US startup world and business world actually works. So they say that that's what we expect path to our goals, to our success should look like, but the reality is this. So we all know this meme, but here's the PromoRepublic reality. So we have just out of curiosity put our revenues from different customer segments over the years on a graph, and it looks like a roller coaster, a lot of pivots. Some pivots are 360 pivots, and maybe I'll run through. I will run through a couple of milestones. So we were born in Ukraine, Kiev, during the Revolution of Dignity. So in 2014 was pretty messy, and revenues from my previous business, agency business, they just collapsed, and I had no motivation to continue that business, and I decided to hop on board with the co-founders and found a company with the global ambitions and with distributed revenue streams from all over the world. And we joined Startup Sauna in Helsinki and discovered US market. And then we realized, okay, we cannot really scale an SMB. We should go up market. So we developed a product for agencies. Then that one also stopped growing that easy. So we went one step more up market and started to serve bigger companies, multi-location companies and franchises. And then we realized, okay, once it's really hard to sell to a big company, we have to sell more products to the company we already have in our portfolio. So we went beyond social media as a product. So we previously have been social media marketing platforms. So we went to other channels like listing management, local search, reputation management, and so on. And then at some point we realized, okay, so now we found our space. We're serving multi-location companies, and we defocused from other segments, and we see how that legacy revenue started to kind of go down, eating up our total growth, but we continue to grow in our main business. And during this path and this kind of milestones in terms of product, some other things happen. And during the path, sometimes kind of magic happens. And I think it's very important for startup entrepreneur to keep the company alive, so there is enough time for some magic to happen. For example, one of the magical things, so we used to We used to sell our product to SMBs, and then we realized we cannot grow there. So you might think, okay, so that was kind of a time waste. We were investing so much to serve SMBs, and at the end, yeah, it didn't work out. However, one of our SMB customers ended up being a marketing director of a pretty huge enterprise company. And he was our first enterprise customer. So he was marketing director of a company called Terra that is doing $2 billion in revenue globally. And the first the contract with them grew to $400,000 per year. So you never know why you're doing what you're doing, and yeah. So sometimes those magical things happen. And I still remember like this first phone call with the guy where we said, hey, actually, yeah, given the number of users you have, you might pay us like $500,000 per year. And our previous contract was like $1,000 per year. And we thought he will hang up and will never talk to us again. He will be offended. But for him, these were normal numbers. He said, oh, okay, so maybe we can start with 100,000. Let's see how that develops. And actually, that customer segment, doTERRA saved us during COVID. Because franchise customers, they were on hold. It was a quarantine, but kind of MLM or direct selling business like doTERRA, they were flourishing. And they decided to go online because before they were doing business offline. So that coincidence helped us to go through COVID. And of course there were like stupid things that we were doing at the beginning. For example, first time when we came to US, being a very small company, so we immediately started to reach out to very cool investors like Sequoia and other guys. And it was really easy to get meeting with them. So we got this 15 minutes meeting. So we talked with them and got really inspired from that. But of course, we were too early and not very interesting for them, but they're really polite talking to us. So, but that was an interesting experience, and that motivated us that we could talk with the biggest investors of tier one. Yeah, and of course, yeah, there are different things that can happen on the way. For example, in our case, where we had most of the so we are Ukrainians, and we had most of the team based in Ukraine when the Russian invasion has started, and that influenced kind of a lot in an, of course, negative way, because it was a lot of problems, and we had to bring people to safety, and our Helsinki office grew dramatically. We helped people to settle down in different countries, but on the other hand, the morale within the company grew, and we stopped like discussing some bullshit issues, and we focused on supporting each other. We focused on making sure business continuity is secured. And hard things, of course, they, like diamonds, they become diamonds through like hard pressure. And I think that's what we realized in real time during challenging times of 2022. And of course, after that, we all know that we see market has changed also, and you had to switch the business model from growing at all cost to focusing on something you really believe you have product market fit and where you can scale and balance the, kind of turn profitable and getting direction independency from investors' money. And that's, of course, another challenge, and that changes the culture of many startups a lot, that we're counting on a growth capital, for their growth. And of course, I don't know, it was a really difficult path, and I think I would never start this if I knew that it would be so difficult. And I think many startup entrepreneurs, indeed, they start just because first, they don't know that it's impossible, so they just do it. And second, they just don't know how hard it will be. And that's great. I think that's one of the reasons why so many startups fail. But yeah, as an entrepreneur, if you really focus on your vision, on your goal, and don't spend too much focusing on problems, somehow most of these problems either disappear or solved by themselves. And I think that's very important to continue running, to keep your company alive, to get this time for some magic to happen, because there's equally same amount of luck and magic for all of us. You just have to be ready to notice the opportunity and to grab it and to have enough time for that. Yeah, so that was our story, and I think one of the main learnings I wanted to share with you. So thank you very much for your attention.
Let's give Max a huge round of applause. Thank you so much, sir.
Yep.
Thank you. Keep it going for Max.
Thanks.
Okay. Next, this has got to be one of the, normally we ask for bios from our speakers, and this has to be one of the best ones I've ever received. So our next founder has been dubbed a plumber of customer acquisition pipeline. He'll remove the blockage and fill your pipeline with inbound leads. He is the founder of Truly, a growth agency helping clients to acquire customers. They've been growing business for millions of euros in a year or less by applying systematic inbound marketing and sales automation. So please help me welcome Aarni, who's the founder of Truly.
Thanks, Joey.
Thank you so much. I got to tell you, it was just the best. It was the best. I had a great chuckle to myself.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thanks for having me. Hi, guys. Okay, so my name is Aarni, and this is my founder story. I don't remember telling it to anyone this way before. I was encouraged to be brutally honest, so I'm going to start from the beginning. But before that, yeah, I founded Truly in 2016, and like Joey told, we are doing inbound user acquisition for businesses who often already make like 2 million per year revenue. And yeah, I believe in growth. This is a simple picture what we really do. We do marketing, we do sales development, and we do tech support. And our clients do the sales. This is how you put it simple. There's many ways you can do marketing. It's quite a huge thing. Tech support is also quite a huge thing. And sales development itself could be. But when you really aim to business growth, there's only quite a few things that you actually should do. And that's our point of doing things. Here's our model. So we talk about strategy, and then we talk about pipeline. And strategy in business is actually quite simple. You have a goal, you have market, you have your product, and then you just should do pretty much your unit economics calculations to know where to invest money. And below this, we have a pipeline. And I'm a plumber of it. So the red bullets are what we do. We do advertising, lead generation, lead nurturing, and sales development. And our clients do all of the rest. They sell their deals, they deliver their stuff. And here's our best clients so far. Like Kone, Smart, Housebase, Virtasen Kauppa. We've been able to deliver millions of euros of growth for them. Or, for example, Kone, we just delivered 7 over $1 billion sales contacts. But now that I got invited here, it got me thinking, how did I end up in this situation? It didn't go that well in the beginning, really. Before even I found courage to become an entrepreneur, it was quite out of luck. But I got taken into a team member for early startup called So Fanatics in 2011. I was doing marketing for them, and I was quite blown away why did they pick me? And I still don't know. Maybe they just liked me. I was way more junior person in a team. But it looks like a startup, doesn't it? Like a office, startup office and a table. So I wanted to take a picture of it. Old memory. But yeah, this was their product. Quite dumb, actually. It's a chat, and we sold it for sports teams. Like we had like FC Barcelona was our client, which was great. They didn't pay us anything, but they promoted it for their fans. So we got a lot of users. But yeah, the whole idea didn't really work financially, and I got kicked away from the team in under a year. So it was quite frustrating for me because I wasn't that well connected and I didn't really know what to do next. But yeah, it was good experience, and I got invited to the my first Slush in 2011. It was quite different than today, but I remember this shirt. Angry Birds was a huge thing back then, and this is what they gave to me. But yeah, I got a job, and I was a corporate planner for a while because of the experience in the So Fanatics. And I was actually quite good at it, I have to say. Corporates didn't really know how to do digital marketing, but I did. So even if I was quite shy person in a team to do marketing, I did very well. And I also was really interested and moved by the pass away of Steve Jobs. And this is a picture from 2013. I had to visit the Apple headquarters. But really, I wasn't still an entrepreneur. I didn't have even a clue that I want to found a company. But I think these are the reasons why I eventually did it. I got some hunger. I know this. I had the So Fanatics experience. I also had a lot of frustration doing corporate marketing, and I had a gut feeling that it's the right thing to do. There was also a lot of reasons why not to do it. Like eventually, I had 15K savings, not that much money. I really thought that I would die if I do it, and I didn't have that much support, really. Like I had some, but my parents, friends, my employer didn't really support it. But I got the first client, so I started. And I found it truly in 2016. My first client was also my partner. So once again, I had a table. It wasn't mine. And I thought that things go well with partnering up. But after 6 months, it quite died away. But I found my business partner, and this is our first office. Just 2 people can go in. But it was a moment after 2 years of a grind that we actually first time, I'm missing some slides. Maybe someone cuts so I can keep it shorter. But it was, sorry. But yeah, it was first time we actually got a client that really needed us. It was a company called RPT Smart, and they gave us 10K, and we delivered them 100K back. And it was a good moment. I really remember how much their CEO loved it, and it was really a rare occasion. But it really gave us a lot of courage. So we first time started to hire people. We hired 10 people, and yeah, it was a disaster. It happened quite fast in 2019, eventually. and we had like 150K in our bank, and in just a couple of months it went to 18. And I realized that we really need to kick out a lot of people. So it was quite of a mess. I didn't understand how to build processes for teams. I was able to do digital marketing with our small team, but once I started to scale, it really was a disaster first time. But we saved the company. We had just enough funds. So we changed our pricing for a kind of SaaS pricing that agencies didn't do back then. And in just a couple of months, we scaled once again from 5 to 20 people. And yeah, it was quite of a disaster again to manage. But yeah, at that point, first time we got over 1 million revenue per year. And that's how it's been for a long time. My last tips and the things that I've been focusing on after that has been industrializing the user acquisition. So building processes, making it systematic, still making big things as a marketer, being very much able to do all of the things that marketing and sales development needs to do, but still keeping it very industrialized thing. So we do same things over and over again. Lead magnet, advertising, landing page, and money for our client. Websites, advertising, lead magnets. If you do all those well, you can generate inbound leads and money. Social media advertising, video advertising, search advertising, and for example, this client we made 6 million in a year. Lead magnets, advertising, sales development. We just rotate and rotate and rotate. We don't give up. Last speaker said that if you knew how much an effort it is when you get started, you wouldn't get started. And that's exactly true. It takes years of repetition. So we have now this model, and it works quite well, not a mess at all. And here's the thing that I'm most proud at the moment. We are able to do performance-based deals because it's so systematic that we can really forecast very well how much results we can generate. 60 euros per marketing lead, 90 euros per meeting, and then just a revenue share. That's our model. Thanks.
Let's give him a huge round of applause. Sorry about that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Let's keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. We're halfway there. We're halfway there. How are we feeling? You good? Good. Good. Okay. Stick with me. So let's keep it going. Next, I'd like to invite someone with 15 years of experience in RE analytics and business development. Before his career as the CEO of Spacent, he was director of real estate investments at Aalto University Properties. He was responsible for the university campus investment program, as well as leasing and campus digitalization. Prior to his career at Aalto University Properties, he held positions at Citycon and Newsec. Currently, he is the CEO of Spacent, a B2B platform that centralized flexible workspace administration and use. The platform also provides a channel for space operators and owners to monetize their unused workspace capacity. Let's give a huge round of applause to Eetu, who's the CEO and co-founder of Spacent. You guys are getting weak with the applause. Give him a big. There we go. There we go.
I didn't even recall that I had such a boring intro with you. Sorry for that. But hey, I need to start with one question. Do you remember what is Candy Wednesday? No one. Damn. This used to be a nightclub, and there used to be this Candy Wednesday, like shots €1, beers €1. So I remember many nights being here doing that. So Uh, but yeah, and maybe some of you remember this as Planet Hollywood as well, but I'm that old, yeah. But yeah, so I'm Eetu Ristaniemi. I'm father of 3 children under 7 years old, and I run a business, so it's like quite a hectic time for me personally. But yeah, it's nice to be here. And as said, like, or as Joey presented, I have a background from real estate. So I used to work for real estate investors, asset managers, and then to start the story up for Spacent, I'm going to one of my previous jobs at Aalto University. So I joined Aalto University in 2015, and basically the whole thing was related to the campus development program that we had. So there was 500 million euros invested into Aalto University campus, and the starting point for the investment program was that the utilization rates of the campus buildings was 24% during office hours. And then at the same time, we're building with €500 million new buildings to the campus. And it was sort of like a professional identity crisis for me, that why are we building so many new buildings while no one is using the old ones? And we started off like recognizing the problem in a global scale, and basically the same thing. Utilization rates, university campuses, pretty much between 20 to 30%, in offices 40%. And then the big thing was also that actually CO2 emissions, 40% of global CO2 emissions come from the built environment. So it's a big thing for the whole world that we're not building buildings that we're not using. And that was the starting point. And this is sort of like a run-through of the university investment program. But the whole thing and the idea behind that was that university faculties will start sharing spaces between each other. And that was the big impact. So basically we could decrease the amount of space the university used with 1/3, from 300,000 square meters to 200,000. And then at the same time we started up sharing spaces with universities partners. And basically what happened was that we were able to decrease the fixed space for different organizations, university mostly, but also companies coming to the campus. So basically, instead of taking 1,000 square meters of space, they took 500, and they started off using university campus premises, basically like a pay-per-use principle. So a flexible element also included to the space use that they had. And it made a lot of sense. So we as a landlord, we were able to lease out our premises like almost to the full to external partners. We were able to sell a lot of unused hours or hourly capacity for the companies with basically like zero margin cost. And then also it was more environmentally sustainable, that companies start using when they need the space. And basically that was the whole thing. So we had a big laboratory of investing €500 million to the university campus and trying off a new kind of business model in the real estate industry. So you see that there's the history of Tractor. So this is sort of like explaining how we started off. Tractor was the old name of the company, and there's like obvious reasons why we changed the name. But it was like, well, one of our clients, Valio, said that, hey, are you working in agriculture, for example? So we changed the name in 2020, but Tractor was the original name of the company. And my founding partners are Professor Jarmo Suominen, who has made a long career doing research on distributed space use. And basically in 2015, when I joined Aalto University Campus Development Program, Antti Tuomela was there working as a CEO for the company. And basically we started off doing this, the whole leasing model with this distributed model that we called it back then. And I said, like, the results were really good. So we were encouraged to start a company in 2019. So we got our first angel investor in 2019, hired a CEO, and then 2019 in the end, we went into the company full time. 2020, we're basically ready to conquer the world. We got good seed funding and so. And basically, the product that we sell today and as we had the idea back then as well, was that companies can use any space whenever they want to, or actually people can use the space, but companies will have the whole network also in their use. So you can imagine that with that kind of a business model, the Corona time is not the best way, the best time to launch that kind of a product. A lot of companies basically decided that, hey, the only way you can work is from your home or the office, which is restricted for the employees only. So a really bad time to launch the product. And we had like 20 people working at the company back then. So there is a big sort of road from that point to this day. But basically what happened with Corona obviously is that we believed back then also that companies don't need that much space. And what Corona basically showed us is that people started working remotely. Knowledge work can be done anywhere. And especially like the culture of companies changed quite rapidly because everyone was forced to work from home. So the need for space actually decreased quite much, especially when it comes to offices. And this graph is just an illustration. Basically, this is percentages of people, how much they prefer to work from the office. And before Corona, it was 99%, was over 80% of time want to work from the office. And basically now it's like all dispersed. Of course, there's a lot of different kind of people who want to work from the office, and some people want to work from home most of the time. But this kind of diversity is our game, so we can produce the flexibility for employees and for companies to use spaces whenever they need to. And we also have a solution for the landlords, for the space operators. For example, Epicent, that is one of the locations that is on the platform. So we basically provide a channel for them as well to sell their unused capacity. And the concept basically is that instead of a fixed big office somewhere in the Ring Road 3, you should have a smaller office in a central location and use the flexibility that we provide. It's a better model for the CFO, better model for the HR, and especially for yourself. So we want to provide companies an easy solution that they can actually navigate through hybrid work, which is not like one size fits all type of thing anymore. And well, obviously, like I said, we had a lot of difficulties during Corona time. This is a graph of our subscription revenue. So basically, like we started off 2019, and we started off with like consultancies. We had a lot of existing clients. We started off, for example, like State of Finland, Senate Properties was our client. And we did early product development. And then 2020 spring, we got our seed funding. Like Lifetise Ventures was the lead in there. And then we started off our pivoting basically, because Corona started basically the same week as we launched the product. So it was a really difficult time. We gained clients and then we lost clients, like with different restrictions happening. And then finally, like 2022 in March, the restrictions were like pulled off. And after that, we have been growing like in a good pace. But of course, there's a lot of challenges ahead of us. Like it's still like early days of the company. We're mainly based in Finland. We do have the service open in 11 countries, but we want to be the biggest in Europe during the next 24 months. There is competition, obviously, mainly in US and UK, but we know it's like it's a business model that needs to grow really fast. There's probably going to be a couple of players who operate with this kind of model on a big scale, and we want to be one of those. But yeah, I don't know if this is like a learning curve. I guess it's still happening. We're going to fail many times, and I think that's something that everyone needs to expect when starting a business, that you're going to fail a lot of times. But you need to keep in mind that it needs to be fun also. I think that's the whole point of the Candy Wednesday as well. And yeah, so this is the team at the moment. So we're 13 people, and obviously it's not about me, it's about the team. The team is great. We do have almost half of the people working in tech and other ones doing sales. But it's the whole team doing the growth and the learning together. So that's really, really important for me.
Let's give a huge, a huge round of applause. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, thank you. Keep it going, keep it going. Okay, I heard some tumblies, rumblings, so don't think that I'm just giving you popcorn and M&M's. Stick around. At the end of this, there'll be some food in the back, and those doors there, they'll open, and the bar will remain open. But last but not least is the CEO and co-founder of Lifetise, an award-winning consumer fintech company which helps people plan major life events like buying a home or having children. Beyond helming an award-winning fintech, Caroline champions female entrepreneurship as a co-lead of Hive Founders and Womankind Ventures. Her fervor for empowering women in the well, I wrote this. I should have thought about this. Her fervor for empowering women in the entrepreneurial landscape is evident through Hive's investment readiness program. She has been honored twice on Innovate Finance Women's in FinTech Power List. That's pretty impressive stuff, and I'm such a douche for messing that up. So, as a current participant in the 90-Day Fin program, please help me welcome Caroline, CEO and co-founder of Lifetise. There you are.
Hey everyone, I'm going to put a timer on because I am terrible with time, and I promised Joey I'd stick to 10 minutes or less. As Joey said, hey, I'm Caroline. I am a 90-day Fin. If you haven't met any of us before, we're people who get brought over for 3 months to do lots of business networking and tons of cultural stuff, and we're having an absolute blast. And there's quite a few of us here, so you can probably meet a few tonight. So, I've done a slightly different talk from everybody else. Let's see how it goes. So, when Joey asked me to talk about my founder story, I thought, well, every good story needs a villain. And Tim Ferriss is the reason I quit my well-paid job as a lawyer to get into entrepreneurship. So there I was working 80-hour weeks as a lawyer thinking, God, there's got to be more to life than this. It's got to be easier to make money, surely. And then I bought Tim's book, and he sold me a dream. He said I could start an online business, and I would find this niche of people to sell something to, and all I had to do was put in the work, start it up, automate everything, and watch the money roll in. And then I would work for 4 hours a week, not even a day, 4 hours a week, and I could sit on the beach and live a brilliant life. And spoiler alert, it has not gone like that. In fairness to Mr. Ferriss, it was not entirely his fault because I completely ignored the advice in the book. And his advice was, find a niche audience that is completely obsessed with something, then create an online product and service and market it to those already obsessed people. I didn't do that. Instead, I tried to solve a massive societal problem in one of the biggest cities in the world, and I tried to solve loneliness in London. I mean, it was an audience of 9 million people, so from a market opportunity perspective, great. However, it was a complete failure. And it was a complete failure. We got up to 3,000 users within 6 months, right? Okay, not bad, didn't spend much money. Signs of something. But it was a complete failure, and I shuttered it after those 6 months because I had learned a very valuable and painful startup lesson. Users lie. They lie. They're just going to lie to you, particularly in the UK. You might have more of a chance here when you're doing your customer development. So I must have spoken to hundreds and hundreds of people about, did they feel lonely? Were they doing much in their neighborhoods? Did they want to do more things? You know, we called it Be Neighborly It was this beautiful, hyper-local social network. We profiled you based on your interests, and we did quite sophisticated tagging for back in the day. And then we matched you to local people, activities, and businesses. So if you like playing tennis or you loved Spanish food, you can do all of those things locally. It was back in the days when we still had things like Foursquare, and that seemed good. But they all lied. They all lied to me. Because I had 3,000 people on my platform and not a single person doing anything. Because people will tell you a version of themselves that they want to be true, but it's not actually the truth, and it's only when you build the thing that you see how users actually behave. Because they really thought that they wanted to be more neighborly, they really thought that they wanted to meet people and do more in their neighborhood. But it's London, I should have known, I was born there. They're not that friendly. They loved the idea of it, but they didn't want to go out of their house and meet strangers. So, killed it after 6 months, but valuable lesson learned. Next lesson for the audience. So my current startup, consumer fintech based out of the UK, and I run it with Nick, who's in the audience. And Nick is both my co-founder and my partner. And what I would say to that is anybody thinking of doing a startup with your spouse, think again. Now, Nick is a brilliant co-founder, and I am very, very lucky to have him as part of the team because he is a hype man for himself, but he's also something of a growth genius. And he's possibly also the bravest man in early stage startups because Nick managed to persuade me that we should do all of our product development in public on Reddit. Now, those of you who go on Reddit know that it is the most opinionated, awful place on the internet, that is at least mainstream. But Nick convinced me that the best way to build was to build in public, and that if we could build something that the good people of Reddit would like, then we were onto something. And he did a pretty good job. Now, I'm going to mainly share stories of failure because I think that's where the learnings come from. And Joey told me I had to be honest. But before I get into some of those, I also think it's important to share some of the wins, mainly for our team. So in 2019, we were accepted for Accenture's FinTech Accelerator, which was amazing. We got to have endless conversations with UK banks, which is a real fun process. On the back of that, we actually picked up our first investors. And we had some seriously impressive angels that backed us, including the former CTO of BlackRock and the former head of financial services at McKinsey. So we had buy-in from some people who knew the financial services world way better than I ever did. We, with Nick's help, grew from our very first user to over 100,000 users. I wish I could say that we kept them all. But churn in a consumer-facing business is real, and we still have work to do on retention. And then, me personally, one of my highlights of this entire journey was the time I did a podcast called How to Get Your Shit Together, and it got to the top of the Apple podcast charts, beating the guru Tony Robbins. So that was my personal highlight. But as with many of the other founders talking today, it has not been smooth sailing. I think there is a real theme here about how many of us got bashed by the pandemic. So we went out to raise our pre-seed round in March 2020, and part of that raise was an equity crowdfund. And we had done so much work to prepare. If anyone else has done a crowdfund, it is a ton of pre-work before you go live. And so we spent 4 months prepping for this, and we had everything ready. We had press announcements in all of the key press. I'd won those awards that Joey mentioned, so I was like a standout star of fintech in the UK. We basically had everything lined up, and then we went live to the public on March the 9th. And I remember Nick and I waking up, looking at the news, and just going, because March 9th became known as Black Monday because it was the day that the stock market crashed to its lowest levels in a couple of decades. And then on the Thursday that week, it crashed to its lowest level since 1987. So my job that week was to ring up all of our investors and say, I'm really sorry to ask you this, but do any of you still have any money? Or have you just lost about 2/3 of your net worth? Fortunately, they rallied. We ended up with about a 50K hole that we had to fill in 7 days, but we did it. We made it. But I do want to talk. I want to finish on what it's like to raise capital as a woman, because fundraising is hard for everybody, but we make it almost statistically impossible as a female CEO. So women globally get less than 3% of all venture capital invested. Last year, I just saw the report out this week, last year that went down to 1%. So we get 1% of all money that is invested in all startups globally. And that doesn't seem right to me. So, with a couple of other female founders, we're doing something about it. Last year, I joined Hive Founders, and we run an investment readiness program. It's an accelerator. It's 8 weeks intensive. It's for female founders. In just 12 months, we have coached 60 founders who have now gone on to raise 6 million. That's just in the last year when market conditions have been terrible. That wasn't enough though, because all I'm doing is creating many, many more female founders with incredible businesses. But if I don't increase the amount of funding that goes to them, I just have loads more frustrated female founders, and I'm making the problem worse. So alongside Hive Founders, we've also created Womankind Ventures so that we are actually putting our money where our mission is and backing those same female founders coming through our accelerator programs. Because if we want to change the stats, we have to both help the women build more investable businesses, but increase the number of investors who are wanting to put money into them. So, accidentally, I seem now to have 2 full-time jobs. If anyone is interested in helping this mission, we would love to have more people help us, and you can come and find me after. And I'm just going to leave you with this, because typically what you get on stage from founders is people telling their success story, which basically just talks about all the things that happen to go right for them, and nobody gets any learnings. Thank you so much.
Let's give Caroline a huge round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was fun. All right, please, let's give one more last round of applause to Max, Aarni, Eetu, and Caroline. Please, please, keep it going, keep it going. Okay, if you'll indulge me for 3 more minutes, I'm going to talk about a couple of other events that we have going on here for the remainder of the month, and then we'll open it up. Food will happen, drinks will happen, and more networking will happen. And I'm your guy, right? So if you need someone to barge into a conversation, I'm perfect at that. That's my New York American training at heart. So let's move forward. In this government period, decision makers have the responsibility to create the world's most functional gaming license system. How can the change promote responsible gaming, and what will be done to improve the channelization rate of online gambling? On October 5th, so that's this Thursday, PAF will host an event here that is open to our community. This is an opportunity to discuss the future of the gambling system. The evening offers an opportunity to dive deeper into the world of gambling while enjoying the cultures of Oktoberfest and All-In in Oktoberfest. There's QR. Huh? Oh yeah, and Speaker is here. So there's QR codes for everyone to sign up. On October 9th, Max was mentioning SESTOC Local. So this is going to return to Epicenter Helsinki. This is a quarterly meetup for SaaS professionals. During this event, we're going to ask, what does it mean to be data-driven? Is it product, process, culture, or everything at once? Why is being data-driven so important? And what are the benefits of being data-driven? Come hear the pitfalls of building data-driven products and how to avoid them. On hand, we'll have success cases and learnings from the VP of Engineerings for AlphaSense and the co-CEO of Supermetrics will be on hand. So, again, another event that's open to the public. October 10th, Hired returns. This is a monthly series that we host here where we talk about all things talent. On October 10th, we're hosting an event called Closing Doors or Opening Opportunities, Decoding Finland's Strategy for International Talent. So this is in quotations here. Finland will be the most interesting place to invest in by 2031, which we believe is a worthy and ambitious goal set out by the new Finnish government, which was formed in June 2023. So Epicenter and AmCham Finland are joining together to ask how the government's approach for international talent supports this vision. The panel of government official and business leaders will discuss 4 main areas. How will the local entrepreneurial ecosystem be impacted? How will foreign direct investment be impacted? And how will individual people be impacted? And then to round out the month, we're going to host a special Halloween special called Hack-O-Lantern. And if you're American or even know what Halloween is, a jack-o'-lantern is sort of the symbol of that. We're calling it Hack-O-Lantern. So this is a hackathon. So in 60 minutes, band together with your team to confront the most daunting fears faced by entrepreneurs. Dive deep, innovate, and channel the spirit of Halloween with not just your brains, but also a pumpkin. And there will also be a costume contest, so dress to impress. We're going to put out a call to action for fears. So if you follow Epicenter or myself on LinkedIn, please tell us what are your biggest fears as entrepreneurs, because we want to challenge those. And then I have one last thing to talk about today. We have a very special person who is celebrating a birthday. She is always behind the booth and has become probably my best friend in the city, but she's also a colleague. So please come on out, and if we could all sing happy birthday to Paulina, who's our head of service. We have a little, come on, bring it. We have a little gift. She doesn't want to come on stage, so we'll keep her. You do want to come on stage, okay. All right, happy birthday to you. Come on. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Paulina. Happy birthday to you. And there's only enough cake for 8 people, so she gets to decide who gets a piece. So thank you all so much. Please network, enjoy, and have a great evening. Thank you.